All right, so I'll just jump right into it. This is messed up. This is something that we do have to go over and discuss. What's going to happen going forward, all that kind of stuff. But Hogwarts Legacy has officially been delayed till 2022. Now, somebody had direct messaged me this on Twitter, and I didn't see the post that they did, that the Hogwarts Legacy did. So I almost thought they were messing with me, and then I immediately look. And number one, thank you to all the people. I mean, I'm literally looking at the first responses to Hogwarts Legacy's Twitter, and all of you guys are tagging me. So number one, make sure if you guys aren't subscribed, you are subscribed, hit the bell icon, and also make sure you guys follow me on, I love to see this stuff. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle. We have a lot of fun over there besides times like this. So, all right, let's read the post. It's pretty easy, and then we'll go through kind of maybe depression that people are feeling right now. We would like to thank fans from around the world on the tremendous reaction to the announcement of Hogwarts Legacy from our Portkey Games label. Creating the best possible experience for all the wizarding world and gaming fans is paramount to us, so we are giving the game the time it needs. Hogwarts Legacy will be released in 2022. So this is crazy, and we're all gonna go through like stages of grief, right? The 5 stages of grief. We're all gonna go through things today, tomorrow, stuff like that. There's a couple things to keep in mind. Number one, I don't think this is doomsday. I don't think this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. We all knew, hopefully, we all knew this was possible. I get it. I get that going into 2021, I cover a lot of things. I do want to say that. I cover hundreds and hundreds of things on this channel. I don't say that to gloat. I say that to make it pretty clear to you guys that I'm into a lot of different things. And clearly, yeah, Hogwarts, Gotham Knights, stuff like that is some of the things I'm more well known for, but I cover like a lot of things. I get that a lot of people were excited for this game. This and Gotham Knights were the 2 games that people told me time and time and time again, or whenever I ask for even a different game on Twitter, on YouTube, etc., I see people say, look, I'm just excited for Gotham Knights, or I'm just excited for Hogwarts Legacy. And so I get it. And I think we're all going to be disappointed in this, right? But again, I mean, you look at CD Projekt Red, you look at Cyberpunk, you look at just games in general, games that were supposed to come out in 2020 because of the stuff around the world, games that probably were supposed to come out right now and are pushed, and maybe we don't even know it yet, right? These are all games that have been affected, that have been impacted by it, and we should be used to this by now. Now, again, delays or I would say delays are never bad things, right? Because if you put out a game, and we talked about it, a game like this, an open world game, a game that really does need time to be developed. You put this game out and it's not ready, my dear God. You know what I mean? Like if this is like a Cyberpunk situation where it's buggy, you can't even play the thing, and again, not even just bag on Cyberpunk, but these are issues that you do not want, because we're all gonna be very nitpicky on the game itself, right? We're gonna be like, okay, how accurate is it to the Wizarding World? Oh, you won't let us do this. Oh, you do let us do that. We're already gonna do that. Imagine if the game just flat out doesn't work on launch, right? So, but here's the thing. Here's the biggest thing. When I even hit record, the first thing that came to my mind is, I've never, in the time that I've covered games, which hasn't been all that long, granted, but I've never seen something like this before, where we didn't even know when the game was going to release in 2021, and it is January 13th, they are already telling us the game is delayed. That's kind of crazy. Try and wrap your minds around that, right? That they said 2021. Now, we all kind of assumed fall. We all assume fall, right? Now, I do want to say, the person, my super secret Hogwarts Legacy source, or whatever I ended up calling it, remember, he did say it was aimed at November with the possibility that it could get delayed till 2022. I don't know if that makes you want to trust him more. I think it makes me want to trust him a little bit more, but that's just something I think to keep in mind going forward. That just kind of came into my head. But like, no matter what you think about it, the fact of the matter is, we probably assumed that this game was coming out like second half of the year. We all assumed it was coming out. I had always said, right? Well, June was always an option, but then remember, I always said this would be like their big holiday game, like their October, November game, right? And now it's not. So is it like February, March 2022? That's what I think now. So if you're asking me when do you think it's now going to release, I think it would release slightly over a year from now. So like next February, next March, I think this game would come out. But to announce it already, I mean, I guess I give them credit. Like it's hard to actually put my thoughts together and like think of where, like how do I think of this? How do I actually wrap my head around it? Because like I appreciate it. Like, is this a good thing? And that's kind of the question, in kind of a sadistic and sick way. Is this a good thing that they're actually telling us literally 13 days into the year the game's supposed to come out, even though we know the game wasn't supposed to, so before today, like yesterday, we all knew we had like 10 to 11 months to wait, right? We still had quite a while to wait on this game. But so for them to come out and say, yeah, you know what, let's just get it out of the way very early in the year. Let's not give you guys, and again, like, do we appreciate that? I think I kind of do. You know what I mean? Like, if it goes until June, July, August, and they're like, yep, still 2021, we're not going to say which month in 2021, we're like, all right, but it's August. Are you going to, like, tell us anything? Then it's, you know what I mean? Then it's, that's an issue. That's an issue. And it's almost as if they didn't want to get into that situation. They didn't want people going through these months and saying, okay, we still know it's coming out in 2021, which is kind of what we've always said, right? Like, we know it's coming out. Don't worry about it. We'll get gameplay. We'll get all this stuff. It's coming. That, we have to talk about that too. That will be the next thing I want to address really quickly. But I kind of appreciate them doing it early because they don't lead us on. I think that's a good phrase. They're not leading us on through the year pretending like the game is going to come out this year when it's not. To be quite honest with you, different game, different example, but God of War Ragnarok is one that the writing is kind of all over the place that game is not coming out this year, but they aren't saying it. I would almost appreciate them just saying, hey, we messed up. Like, we said 2021, we probably shouldn't have. It's not happening. You know what I mean? Because, again, like, from what we kind of are gathering, that game is probably not coming out this year. They just haven't said it yet. So, Hogwarts Legacy, this is a situation where maybe we'd find out as the year goes, as this year goes on, where it's like, ooh, doesn't really look like it, but they keep telling us it is, so they're either liars or they feel really confident and nothing's coming through yet. And then so I would actually say this is maybe one of the better things they could have done. Number one thing people were going to ask me is when the game's going to release. Number two thing people were going to ask me is when do we see more from this game. Now, I had always said, and to be honest, well, I guess I gotta just be honest with you. I do get tired of hearing those same two questions every single day, okay? I do get asked them a lot. I've answered them before, but people keep asking me. I get it. People don't hear my answer sometimes. I have gotten tired of it, though, so I right now, my cop-out answer normally was just first half of the year. When people say, when do you think we're going to get Hogwarts Legacy gameplay? First half of the year. When do you think we're going to see Hogwarts Legacy again? First half of the year. People keep asking, so I normally just say that. But let me tell you this does kind of change things now, because if the game isn't coming out for over a year, you know, I assumed we would get more of it this first half because it's coming out the second half. So the question we now have to ask ourselves is, what is their strategy of promotion, right? Do they want us to continue to see the game a year before the game comes out? So would they be willing in February, March, April, you know, one of those months, let's say, to drop a new trailer, to show us gameplay, knowing that the game is not going to come out for a full year? I think they still can. I mean, there's numerous examples of games that are announced years before, okay? And a recent one, now it's an exclusive game, but it's The Last of Us. The Last of Us Part 2. They showed that game in terms of gameplay, I believe, 2 to 3 times, like years before. So they showed that game, I believe they showed gameplay 2 or 3 years before the game came out. They showed it 1 year before the game came out, and then obviously, as we got within the year of The Last of Us Part 2 releasing, they just showed more and more. They did state of plays and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think it's unheard of. It's just how secretive do they want this to be? You know what I mean? And maybe now, you know, the cat's out of the bag. Maybe now they're like, okay, you know what? Pressure's off. We don't have to rush to get this game out in November. We can patiently, you know, go through this. We can get it out February or March. And you know what? Maybe we can still show them stuff this first half of the year. So to be quite honest with you, I'll say this. My definitive answer is I am not expecting anything from Hogwarts Legacy, I would say, until the second half of the year. I'm not expecting it, okay? If they didn't give us anything through June or July or August, I won't be upset. I won't be disappointed. We have topics, me and my personal life, you know, even on the channel, like, it'll be okay. Am I hopeful for it? Yes. Do I think it's possible they actually still do give us new stuff coming up in the next couple months? Yes, I still do. I really do. The game was supposed to, and that's another thing to remember, the game was supposed to release this year. The game is still now releasing early next year. Now, I know they don't say early, and that's something that we do have to, I guess, keep our eyes on, but I just can't imagine they go from late 2021 all the way till late 2022. That becomes more of a dire situation. You look at like a Dying Light 2 situation where they say, hey, it's coming out in 2019. Oh, now it's delayed. Oh, now it's delayed indefinitely. Now we don't even have a release date or a release year. That's where things get really bad. That's where rumors of like workplace drama and like, something's wrong there. That's where that stuff kind of comes. That could happen. I'm not going to throw that possibility out, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. So I'm not expecting anything from them, but I am still hopeful that we will get something, whether it be a gameplay snippet or another trailer or whatever, within the first half of this year. And you know what? Again, if there's an E3, if E3 does happen, or if it doesn't, if it's like a virtual thing, and Warner Bros. Goes, and they show Gotham Knights, and they show this, and they show Suicide Squad, or whatever, I do think we'd see it. I mean, I think, it would be there. Now, this does impact Gotham Knights. I'm not going to talk about it because this is a Hogwarts Legacy video, but I will talk about it going forward, okay? We'll have a Gotham Knights video maybe tomorrow or the next day, all right? So let me know what you guys think. Don't be too depressed. Seriously, don't be too depressed. The game's still real. The game's still coming. It's a bump in the road. That's all it is. The game got delayed 3, 4, 5 months. We don't know the exact months, but it hasn't been canceled. It's not gone. It's not like it doesn't exist in the first place. The game is coming. So don't be too down on yourself, okay? Let me know what you guys think. As always, make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter, Podcast Now 15, and I will see you all on the next video.